Good morning and welcome to part 2 of lesson number 3, Two Stories of Flying. In the first part, we saw how the baby seagull was reluctant to fly and finally he gave up because he couldn't control his hunger. Seeing his mother holding a beautiful fish in her beak, he just dived towards her to have that fish because he was hungry for almost 2 days. And he learned to fly. So that was his first flight. And we also saw compared how human babies learn to walk and how birds and other species they try to take their first flight. The second story is the story of a pilot who has a aeroplane named Dakota aeroplane and who's flying over France and he's going to England to his country to have a holiday and a wonderful English breakfast. So let's see what happens with the pilot, and at the end of the story we would be discussing whatever experience the pilot had, what was it, is what we all are going to discuss. So let's go through the lesson, the lines quickly. The moon was coming up in the east, the black aeroplane. The moon was coming up in the east behind me and stars were shining in the clear sky. So this clearly shows that it's night time when he is taking his flight. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris Control soon. So it was 1:30 in the morning and now he was flying over France, and if he wants to know the directions he has to call Paris Control. I thought as I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane. I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control Dakota DS088. Here, can you hear me? I'm on my way to England over 00000. So he's waiting for the reply. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now, DS088 over. So this was the announcement or the communication done by Paris Control Room. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good, big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. Let's see now why was he so desperate to have that English breakfast? What is that, that big English breakfast includes? It includes a bacon, fried egg, sausage, which sausage was introduced to us in the lesson Triumph of Surgery, mushrooms, baked beans, toast, grilled tomatoes, accompanied by tea or coffee. Wow, such a beautiful breakfast. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me. When I saw the clouds, storm clouds, they were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. Imagine you're in the sky and there are huge black clouds and it's really difficult to drive through it. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. So he knew that in the earlier paragraph he has mentioned that he had switched on to his last fuel tank, and now he knew that he could not fly around them and just cross them. He has to either go into them, through them, or he has to go back. I had to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I will take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. So he has just plunged into the black aeroplane and he was completely shattered because he couldn't see anything and everything was black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air because they were dashing against the clouds. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe. So here is the pilot in his aeroplane. I couldn't believe my eyes. Why couldn't he believe the eyes? Because the compass was turning round and round and round. Compass was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. Paris Control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm. Then, in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved at me. Follow me, he was saying. Follow me. He knows that I'm lost, I thought. He is trying to help me. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child because here he had help from nowhere. And this particular aeroplane was trying to help him come out of that black, huge storm of clouds. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. So for almost half an hour, they were struggling to get out of that clouds. I was starting to feel frightened again. But then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines of lights in front of me. So guess what? It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. So here you can see the pilot conversing with the lady, asking her where was the other airplane which was with him and which brought him out of the clouds, because he wanted to thank the pilot there because it was only because of that black aeroplane that he could come out of that stormy cloud. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in the storm, no other aeroplane were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. So who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? So, before we move on to the textual questions, this is where we need to discuss it must have been. Was it a mystery? Was it a magic? Was it a help from the universe? Or was it the pilot's own willpower that brought him out of that stormy clouds? The willpower to reach his home, the risk that he had taken to get into the stormy cloud and come out safely without any trouble. So it was just, superpower, maybe a superpower, or maybe his willpower. So it is you who have to tell me what was it that brought the pilot out of the black stormy clouds. What could this be? So let's stop here, and in the next video we will be discussing the question and answer.